So we'll look at some concepts in HTML this class and next class. I am planning to wind up HTML by next class, and then we'll start up CSS. So HTML, before starting off with HTML, I want to talk to you about another extension which I have installed, that is the live preview. Earlier we have installed live server. I put up a video lecture on how to use live server. Here I have live preview installed. So how you install that is, it's an extension. Click on the extension link, search for live preview. So you're going to get live preview, and you just install it. I have already installed it. Once when you have installed it, you have to run that. What you can do is you'll see port 3000. So you just click on this location, you'll see that it's running in port 3000. So your live preview will run. What is the use of live preview is, you can see the changes made to the code as a preview inside Visual Studio Code. So I'll give an example here. So let me give an example. So this is a page, just some page, and we'll put some content here. Hello and welcome. Some content. So here, what is that we are going to get is, we are going to get the live preview inside your Visual Studio Code. So whatever we are going to change here, say you're going to add some more text, I'll add. So the moment you make the changes inside VS Code, parallelly you'll be able to see the changes too. This one, it will be very helpful for you while you're working and practicing to see how far your code is working. With live server, every time you have to go to a new browser window, and you have to check whether your changes are reflected there. So I find this to be more useful. So you can go with live preview even in your lab classes. That's the advice. So we'll start off with HTML. HTML, I was telling you, is divided into two sections. One is the head and another one is the body. So whatever you are going to put inside the body will be in the view for the users. Those who are viewing the page, they'll be able to see that info. Whereas whatever you're putting inside the head, it's not for page viewers, it's for the metadata for the document. What kind of elements come inside head? One is title. So for instance, if I'm writing a page on introduction to HTML, what is the title I'm going to give? Introduction to HTML. So the suggestion here is, always try and give keywords that refer to your contents in the document here. So when users search, this title is going to play a key role. So give appropriate keywords in your title, and where you're going to place the title, inside the head tag. There are other users of the head division. You can also have styling to your, say, I want to have some styles embedded in my document. I can very well put that within these two tags, open and close the tag. Say the problem we have here is, this text is very small, we are not able to see this. So if I want to just make the font bold enough, I can just give body. Whatever I put inside the body, I want the font size to be very large so that students can see this, and also I can make it bold, font weight. So these are some CSS styling which we are doing here. We'll learn this in the coming classes. So I can embed my style within this tag, and this will be present within the head. Okay. If you're not interested in having these styles embedded here, you want to link it to an external style sheet, what you can do is, you can use the link. Link is for linking this document with external resources. So how will you link this document with external resources? Relation style sheet. So we just say the rel is the attribute. This is style sheet, and you can give the link to the document test.css. So what is that? What does that mean? I can just put this data inside test.css, another file, and link it to my file. So what is the use of this? I can reuse this test.css in as many documents as possible. The reusability comes. So link is another element which you'll use inside your head tag. Can we go to the next element that comes under the head, that is called base? What is the use of base? Say we can have an URL here. Say I will give my URL for my own site, codespindle.com. So this is the URL. What is the point in giving this URL with the base tag is? Say if I am going to have an anchor tag or any links in my page, I can very well say Java index.html. So Java index.html, when it is going to search for this particular page, it will be searching from this base domain I have mentioned. So it's codespindle.com/java index.html. That's all. So if you want the images to be loaded from a particular domain, you can very well give that in the base tag under head, and then you can, whenever you give that image, it will be searching for that image using that base URL you are referencing. Okay. So this is the use of base tag. Maybe if you will put something here like click here. I'm not going to open this one. So when you click here, it's going to go to codespindle.com java index.html. You'll be able to view that page. Okay. Are you clear with the tags we have learned for that falls under head element? We have learned title, we have learned base, we have learned style, we have learned link. Next thing is we learn meta. We have already seen this. This is auto generated here. Meta char set is equal to UTF-8. What does this mean? How many bytes we'll use for encoding a character that's represented in UTF-8 character set? It is a variable length encoding scheme. So you take anywhere from 1 byte to 4 bytes in UTF-8. UTF-8 is very widely followed with respect to web applications and web programming. So you're going to have 99% of the applications running in UTF-8. So you have to mention, why we have to mention this is used for storing the document. This is also used for in the purpose of transmission of the document. So you have to mention this character set. How will you mention that? Using the meta tag. And this should be mentioned only once. How many character set attributes and with meta tag you can have? Now only one character set attribute with a meta tag. This should occur only once inside your document. That is the rule. So meta can be used with character set. There are other ways wherein we use meta. We can use meta with this attribute name. What is the use of this attribute name is you can give description. Say these are the values you can give for name. One is description, and whenever you use name, you should follow that with the content. Content can be, this is an introduction to HTML. So some brief abstract about your document, say introduction to HTML. So where this is useful, where this is going to be useful is when you're searching for a page on the search engine, you Google it out, your page comes up, and under that link, you'll see some small abstract, some description about that page, right? That comes under this meta tag description. So it's very important you give this info, a small abstract. There's one more thing that goes with the name tag, that is name attribute. So we have meta name. Another value defined is keywords. Again, you give content. Here you're going to mention all the keywords with respect to your document. Say if I'm talking about Neo4j databases, I'll give the keywords as Neo4j graphs. I just separate it with comma and then give the keywords. So again, this is also used for indexing your page. When people search, what are the keywords representing your page? So you can give that in meta name is equal to keyword. So name can take up description, name can take up keywords. Is there anything else a name can take up? Yes. So again, you go with meta name. You can also mention author. Who is the author of this page? That you can mention. Okay. Anything else meta can take up? You're very well seeing here. Meta name is equal to viewport. What is given here? In content, width is equal to device width. Can anyone tell me why this viewport declaration is present, it was auto generated by VS Code when I gave that exclamation, right? So this is again name, the attribute name is going to take up the value viewport. Can you tell me why we have this here? Because we'll be viewing our web pages on screens with different sizes, right? We'll view it on the mobile phone. The width of the devices is going to vary. So here, what we are going to do, if you're going to build a website that is going to be compatible across multiple devices, then definitely you have to include this particular command. Meta name is equal to viewport content with this device width for the page. So this one is auto-generated in VS Code, but that is also one of the keywords defined for this attribute name. There's one more keyword defined with the name, that is meta name is equal to, you have generator. What is this generator? You know, if you have this page auto-generated by some of the tools, you can do that. You can mention that which tool you have used for generating this, say front viewer. If you're generating, auto-generating this page using tools, you can say which tool is used for generating this page. So that also is part of the meta tag. So when I talk about the head part, it is only the metadata for your document. This is not for the page viewers. This will not be visible to you. I mean, this is not the information for the page viewers. Please understand. Okay, so meta can go with char set, name, and there's one more thing you're seeing here, HTTP equivalent. This was also auto-generated by VS Code. So what is the use of meta with this particular attribute, HTTP equivalent? Say it has given us XUA compatible content. What in content we say Internet Explorer is equal to Edge. Since VS Code is Microsoft product, they are very specific about this particular thing. No, it's auto-generated. What it means is when you're rendering this page, which version of Internet Explorer should be considered, which is the best for rendering this page. So here we say Edge. That's the only thing. HTTP equivalent also has other, this HTTP equivalent also has got other attributes like you add for name. What all we have for HTTP equivalent? Can I delete all these things? For deleting anything in VS Code, you can use Control X and then you can delete a line. So Control X, X, X. That's it. Delete a line. Now, the question is HTTP equivalent we had, right? Yeah, we'll this. What other values HTTP EQIV can take up? One is content type. I'll just tell you. It's content type. So what is this content type? It is again another way of mentioning the character set. So if you have mentioned that using meta character set is equal to UTF-8, no need to use this. But this is another way of mentioning the character set. So it will take up content type. Another value that HTTP equivalent EQ UIV will take up is default style. What is this default style? A default style is nothing but what is the default style sheet applicable for your domain. Say you will style your domain, maybe one is light colored style sheet will be there for the domain, one can be the dark colored theme. Maybe when it loads with the default theme. So here you can mention that default style sheet here. So how will you mention that? You have to go with the content and then content is equal to, say if my default style sheet is test.css, I'll mention that here. So with HTTP, this equivalent, we'll also have default style. Another very important attribute, keyword defined for this attribute is refresh. Refresh and then we give 30 or 20, whatever number of seconds. What it means is refresh this page every 30 seconds. So it will be auto refresh every 30 seconds when you give this particular tag. There's one more thing that we'll be using HTTP EQ UIV with, equivalent with, that is very interesting, content security policy. What is this content security policy? What we are going to say here is content is default source, and self will say. I can also give some domains here. For instance, HTTPS, some domains, codespindle.com, like that. What is the use of this content security policy is, say, it will not allow JavaScript code or images from any other domain other than the host to load into your page. Have you heard of cross scripting attacks, JavaScript attacks? So you can run your, an hacker can run his own JavaScript code inside your web page. So to prevent that, what we are saying here is the source, default source should be from self. Self is the host where you have hosted your pages, the domain, we can say. Say from code spindle, I want everything to be downloaded. Or else you can also give some domain explicitly. Okay, if anything is running, it should be either from the place, the server I have hosted it, or even this domain is allowed. So this comes under content security policy. It is mostly for prevention of this XSS attacks on your system. So that is there. So these are the various elements that can be embedded or tags that fall under the head. Are you clear with some? We have just looked at a very few. If you want to know, there are like hundreds of parameters for each of these things. You have to go to HTML specifications online and learn. You take up the HTML specifications online, you're going to learn HTML for next 2 years, I guess. So that's how huge it is. But anyway, for us, from the learning perspective, this is fine. So we are done with our head element. Now it's time to learn something from the body perspective. What all things can go into the body? So what I will do here is I will delete this, whatever that will not focus much will delete, and I will bring back my style so that the output is visible to all of you. So whatever I put inside the body, I'll have the font size to be very large, and also font weight to be bold. So how to put a command statement inside HTML? It's something like Shift Alt A, I guess. Shift Alt A in VS Code. It just adds a comment. You can see this is the comment block. So we'll start off with H1 to H6 header tags. So what is this header tag? It's nothing but, say, you give H1, press enter, and say this is heading. Okay. That why this okay, this site is not refreshing. Any problem? Yeah. Okay. It starts. Just put it here. So it's used for giving heading in your pages. Maybe H1 is the on the top. You have a heading. What I have learned from some online learning is you should have only one H1 tag per page, and inside that H1 tag always mention keywords. So this will also be helping you with indexing your page. Search results for your page will be better if you follow this. And likewise, you can have from H1 to H6. There are certain variations. If I want to copy a line, Alt, Shift, and down arrow I can give. So I'll just be able to copy a line. Very useful. So you have the shortcuts for you. So now I can go with H2. H2 is the next level. That is a smaller font size. H3 is again a smaller font size. H4, H5, H6. Like that, you can go up till H6 here. So I don't know why this live preview is not refreshing. Okay, so you are able to see the differences here. Next is we'll go on, we'll look at the paragraph tag. What is this paragraph tag? Paragraph tag is nothing but it's going to start a new paragraph. The contents you give in a new line. So you give P and then you can say this is a new paragraph, right? So this is a new paragraph. Likewise, you can start another paragraph and say this is another paragraph. So you're able to see the difference when you're going to use the paragraph tags. And another tag I was interested in was the quotation tag. So if you want to use the quotation marks in the text, say never use mobile phones in the class. So you want to just give the quotations like this. You have to go with this tag Q for quotation. Comment we have seen, quotation we have seen, paragraph we have seen, headers we have seen. What other things can we talk about? href, link, anchor tag. What is the use of this anchor tag is you can link to other pages. See, web programming is all about hyperlinks. You're going to link to multiple pages are going to link to your page. So how you create an hyperlink is you give a href is the attribute, whichever page you want to link to, you can give that page. Say I have already created this new page.html. So this is the page having some content in it, and I will say click here. So this one is. So when I click here, it's going to take me to this new page. So it's a simple link from your page. So whenever you want to view your timetable, you are clicking on a link that takes you to another page. Right? That is it. So very important anchor tag. Very effectively, you will be using this in your application development. After anchor tag, what is that I want to focus on is lists. So we'll talk about lists here. Lists, we'll talk about ordered and unordered lists. What is the list? You want to display a list of items. You can either order it or it can be an unordered list. So how will you create a list? Say if it's an unordered list, you give UL, open and close the tag, and within UL, you're going to mention the items. That is every list item. Say if it's item 1, that is list item 1. If I want to just copy this, so here we are going to have, okay, let me move back to test.html here. Yeah, you can see the output. So you can see item 2, item 3, item 4. So you're creating an unordered list. There's no ordering here. If you're not happy with this circle, you can go with, say, we'll do everything using style sheets, but this option is available. That is, you can give type is equal to square if you're not very happy with the rounded shape. But all the styling, I will say we'll do that with CSS. Suppose I have a sublist. Item 2 has got sublists. How will I go with sublists? Say this is the list for item number 2. If you want to have a sublist, then don't close this tag. Just create another list inside this. So you create UL and then you mention the items here. Say this is item 21. Again, we'll copy item 22, item 23. So you can very well see a list within another list. So this is unordered list. If you want to create another list within this, how will you create? For item 22, if you want to create a list, just go here, UL, and then you can add items. This is item 221. So lists are very important. You know, when you're working with pure CSS pages, this entire thing here was created using a list. It's a list, unordered list. This entire menu on the top was created using a list. It was created using only pure CSS. So I was watching this video yesterday on why pure CSS is better than all these plugins and frameworks. It depends on the kind of application you are building. If it's going to be like, say, simple plain text with some menus and you want to just throw information to the user, no need to go in for this overweight frameworks because it's going to take time to load. Google is very happy with pages that load faster. And the next thing why we should not be so much attached with these frameworks and libraries is whenever they charge you, you have to pay them. That's the next point. And whenever they upgrade it, when your library becomes obsolete, there's a chance that security attacks can happen on your pages. So the recommendation is if you have very simple pages and you wanted to load it very fast, you don't want to have a tie-up with some of the libraries out there, you can code it by learning pure CSS. So whatever you are seeing here was done using only pure CSS, nothing else. So lists will be using there. What is an ordered list? An ordered list is nothing but you'll have numbers here. Let's take a look at ordered lists and we'll move on to tables quickly. What is an ordered list? Instead of UL, you give OL, and everything else remains the same. Say here we have item 1, I can just 2, 3, and 4. So now we have a number here 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. You are not liking this number, you want to have some other number, you can give type, you can select. So again, you can go with sublists here too. No, so it's an ordered list. So give OL, and you can go with the list item, say item 221. So that's it. The concept is the same, except for the fact that you're going to give ordered list as OL. Okay. Are you all clear with these things? Very basic thing, nothing much. Next, we'll see very important concept, tables. Have you seen tables on any web application? So tables are effectively used for displaying the content to the user in a very organized manner. So we'll see how to create a table. The tag is table. What will be there inside a table? You know, you'll have rows and columns. So row is mentioned as tr. So this is one row. Inside a row, how many columns you want? You can have many columns. Say this is column 1. I'll just put column 1. Likewise, you want another column, again td, column 2. This is column 1 and column 2. Very simple. And these two columns correspond to row 1. If we want to have many rows and columns, our copy will help us. So now table containing two columns, and say I want to view this as a table with some borders. Normally we use CSS, but still it's a deprecated header. I'll use it for now. So you're able to see a table here. We'll make this table somewhat meaningful. We'll say we have some faculty and they are teaching some courses like this. Let's say we have faculty. I put my name here, Satish, and Satish teaches a new course which he has not learned, IWP. And there's another faculty. Maybe Satish in the semester is also teaching, say, Java. Likewise, there's a faculty by name Ram who is teaching OS, and Ram is also teaching some other course. Say like this, we'll build some, say, software, something like that is teaching. So we have built a table here. If you want a caption for this table, what you're going to do is you can include a caption. The keyword is caption. What we can say, this is course table. So that's the caption. You'll see that here. You can give a caption. There's another thing. Say I'll just disable this font weight bold for now. So nothing is bold now. If I want to have a header for my table, first row alone should be in bold. I can very well make it, instead of TD, I'll be giving TH. All the TDs will be converted to TH in the first row. So that's the header. Got it? Say I want to merge two columns for a row together. I want to merge two columns for a row together. How to perform that? Say I will have a row here. What is this row? TR. And we'll have two columns. Say initially we had two columns like this, TD. Another TD we'll have. So here we'll say this is winter sem courses, winter semester. So we have two columns here. I want to merge this for this row alone to be one column. How can I merge that is, I can go to this first column, I can give call span, merge it as one. So I'll say take two columns and merge it. So it's call span is equal to 2. So now it is merged. I don't need this column. You see, in winter semester, this faculty teaches this courses. So how will you merge two columns? It can be any number of columns. Just give the number of columns you want to merge and then call span. You see one more thing. Satish is repeating, right? This faculty is taking two subjects. This faculty is taking two subjects. Maybe I want to merge two rows and have Satish only once in the display. How I can perform that? Go to the place, the column where Satish is mentioned first, and then you say row span now, because we are going to merge two rows. Row span will merge, and then this Satish will remove from the next row. You see, Satish is teaching IWP and Java. Like that for RAM, if I want to manage row span, go to the place where RAM occurs first. Row span, two rows I am merging, so we'll remove this RAM. That is the use of row span and call span. There's one more thing with respect to tables. They are dividing the tables as header for a table, body for the table, and footer for a table. So why we should have three sections for a table is, one is for styling. Another place where we can use that is, you want to just scroll the contents in the table but not the header. In such places we'll do this. So I'll tell you what is this. Say we have these tags t head, wherein you just put all the header data for your table inside that. Just organizing the contents, all the header data inside t head, and whatever body for the table we have, we'll put that inside t body. So whatever body content I have, I'll just put that inside t body. And footer for the table, t foot. So what, say I'll just have a row here, and then we'll say tt, this is the footer, and maybe we can perform call span is equal to 2. So we are just putting the header details under t head, body under t body, and foot under t foot. What is the use of this is, it will be used in styling. For instance, I want my head to be alone in a different color. I can very well give a background color of, say, some aqua. All my head under a different color. If I want to give the body of the table to be under a different color, I can give that. So background color, maybe I'll just give. And the footer, I want a different color, t foot. So mostly for this styling purposes, you can some. So are you all now clear with the table? Because table will be generating tables while you're fetching data from the database. Dynamically, tables will be built and the data will be populated within the tables and shown to the user. So tables lists make up a very important concept in web application development. Okay. I think for today, maybe we'll wind up this juncture. Were you all able to follow all the contents? Next class, on Monday's class, we'll be looking at forms in HTML, all how we can build forms and some basic tags, and how to use audio, video elements inside your web page, media elements inside your web page, and some basic tags that are left out. If anything like that, we'll finish it out. So Monday we'll finish HTML, something from a syllabus perspective.